Yahweh, we told you for just another day to be able to be better than we were the day before. Continue to look over these vessels, Yahweh, wherever we are in this earth. Continue to protect us from all sicknesses, diseases, viruses that are going on in the earth at this very hour. Continually heal these vessels of anything that might be plaguing us at this very hour. Yahweh, we told you for healing. Anytime we are sick and down and out, we told you for your healing hand to be able to lift us up once again and be able to have us to lift up our voices and give you praise because it is you alone that has brought us up and brought us through a lot of things in this earth. We told you for your helping hand, helping us through this way of life, showing us that we are not alone, that we can always rely on you and walk with you every step of the way. We told you for even family, the brethren, all that are in the faith. We told you for having us to be of one like mind and being together and looking out for one another. We told you for your Ahava. Your Ahava is unlike any other. Yahweh have it so that Yisrael have that same Ahava towards one another, and most importantly, towards you and your son, Yahshua HaMashiach. Continue to give us a mind to want to do your will, a sound mind to always want to walk this way of life and do it correctly before you. Continue to teach us, continue to prepare us, continue to show us all things that we need in this lifetime in order to make it to the very end, to see your face in peace. Continually look over the children, continually raise them up, continually be with them and show them that they can do all things through your son, Yahshua HaMashiach, and show them that there's nothing to fear in this way, nothing to fear in this life, but to continually rely solely on you and to show them that they can always go to you whenever they are in need. Continually be with us all, elderly, women, men, children, each and every one of us, Yahweh, and continually show us that we must come to you whenever we need something. Whenever we are in despair, whenever we are in need, we must come to you and not solely rely on the world and man, but just know that we will get an answer from you, and you are always fair and just. We told you, even for seeing all things and bringing judgment to the wicked, seeing everything that they have done in this lifetime, and just we are glad that you will not let anything go past you without consequences, and continually show them that everything that they do on this earth, that it has to come right back to them, and they will have to pay for everything that they have done to Israel and to you and your son. And we just look forward to better days. We look forward to the kingdom to come. And we look forward to living with you forever and ever. In Yahshua HaMashiach's name we pray. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. House of Israel, you may be seated. Shabbat Shalom, House of Israel. I say Shabbat Shalom, all there tuning in on the live stream. Once again, this is another beautiful day that Yahweh has placed before us. Why I say it's another beautiful day? Because guess what? He give us another day. He give us that breath of life that we may be able to live once again, to see another day and to be able to obey him and get it right. That's what we want to do when we walk in this way of life, when we are alive in this day and time. We want to make sure we get this right before Almighty Yahweh. This evening, I want to talk to you about how Yahweh is always in control. No matter, a lot of times people look at the world and see all the devastation, all the chaos is going on in the earth, and then they lose hope because they think Yahweh don't see this, he don't see that. It's just so much turmoil. They don't see that Yahweh is coming back. But Yahweh sees it all, Yisrael. Everything that goes on in this earth, best believe Yahweh sees it. And guess what? He ain't gonna let nothing go past him. He ain't gonna let no amount of violence, no amount of threats in this earth to get past him where all of a sudden he say, you know what, I didn't even see that. Wow, that got past me. No, he sees it all. And everything that goes on, guess what? Yahweh allows it to happen, right? It ain't like Shaitan go over here doing something and then all of a sudden get past Yahweh and say, wow, I forgot I didn't even see that. No. You remember what happened with Job, right? He came up. What about my servant over here? You know, he knew Job wasn't going to bend. He wasn't going to budge. He was going to stay focused. That's focus, Israel. Now, if anything in all life, if you look at Job and what he went through, that's staying focused. Because he didn't give in, he didn't curse Yahweh and die. No, he just kept going on and held on to his integrity and knew at the end that Yahweh will see me through it. That's how we had to look at life, Israel. So Shaitan, you know, all right, go ahead and do what you're gonna do to him. But what he say? Don't take his life. Now that sounds like Yahweh in control to me, right? That's how we had to walk this way of life. Just know whatever you going through, Israel, trials, tribulations, guess what? Yahweh is in control. He said, many are the trials of the righteous, right? But he will see you through them all, right? Sound like Yahweh in control. He said he won't give you more than what you can handle, right? He even said he'll give you a way out. Sound like Yahweh in control, right? When we read the Torah, we at the last days right now, and we see the things that are coming down the line, and we see it coming rapidly, but we can't say, okay, yeah, I see what he says is going to happen in the future. We can't say, oh, just because I don't see it, I don't believe it. A lot of people they want to see it first, and then, oh, okay, now yeah, he did say that. No, we had to know, we had to trust that Yahweh, if he says it, it is true. So when he says the thing's going to happen, these things must happen. And then Yahweh, this is so tough with Almighty Yahweh. Yahweh laid out the plan, the map for each and every one of us, for us to just walk in it and just know we know ahead of time what's going to happen. So when it does come up, we're not surprised. We're not panicking. We know, okay, Yahweh did say these things are coming about. Now we must go to him. Now we must stay focused and rely solely on him. And what I like even more, the wicked right now, they ain't ruling. They ruling right now. They having fun. They doing all they want to do right now, gathering up all that they want in the earth. But Yahweh pronounces their doom in the book. And they just going about walking in the plan that Yahweh has in this earth. They ain't gonna do nothing outside of what Yahweh says. What Yahweh says, that's what's gonna happen. And at the end, guess what? Gonna be their doom. And they continually walk in the way Yahweh says it, and they're not even looking at it. Wow, we doing this thing just like it says in the book. And at the end, it does say we're going to be destroyed. They don't even look at it like that. They just keep going on. And that's Yahweh. And you know what? Yahweh said, okay, this thing is going to happen the way I say it's going to happen. Man think it's going to happen the way they think it's going to happen. Man think they in control and think, okay, all these things we doing right now is because of us. We doing this. No, Yahweh allowing these things to go on. And then, like he said, I come like a thief in the night. He gonna come in surprise. He gonna shock everyone. Ain't nobody getting away. And when that day comes, best believe it's gonna be panic. It's gonna be fear in the earth. But guess what? It's too late. The wrath of Yahweh has come. Now all in the earth that went against him have to pay. So Yisrael, that's why we had to stay strong and just know Yahweh is in control. Don't fear, because we know that. If you rolling with Yahweh, he's on your side. Don't you think you're going to have victory, Israel? Even if you had to lose your life in this lifetime, you still will have victory, because then you will get up in that first resurrection. You living now to live again. And that right there is victory. Right now, it don't look like we got everything, all we need, all we have in the earth. But guess what? We living right now. We being content with what we have to live again. And that's when you will be rewarded, Yisrael. You shouldn't want everything right now. I want to be rewarded now. Give me everything now. Because no, Yahweh said we had to pay for our transgressions first. And after we have done that, then Yahweh will restore everything. Then you will get what you deserve, Israel. He ain't gonna give you. I'm gonna put it like this: a child. You know, children like candy, right? They all candy, whatever sweet, candy, cake, whatever. Dinner time ain't come yet. They ain't eat their dinner yet. But can I have my dessert first? No, you have to wait for it. You had to eat your dinner first before you get the actual dessert. So you had to wait. You had to patiently wait for it. Then at the end, then you be rewarded. I had to put it like that so someone know, okay, this ain't something that's just going to be automatically given to you because you think, oh, I'm Yisrael, I'm a Hebrew Israelite, and I deserve this. I know I'm of Yahweh. That's all I had to do is just know who I am and not even walk in it. No, we had to do some work. We had to walk in it. We had to fight for this, Israel. And then after the fight, then we will be rewarded. Let's go to Isaiah, Yisrael. This is Isaiah chapter 5, or Yeshaya. Because in the wicked, they laugh at all this. When they see you striving to do Yahweh's will, they laugh, they scoff, like it says, and think, oh yeah, where Yahweh at? You said you serve Yahweh, where he at now? He not doing anything for you. You still down and out. You still struggling. Yet the best believe they looking at you and say, yeah, see what's going on now? Y'all say y'all Israel? Just wait. Exactly. Isaiah chapter 5, I'm going to start at verse 18. Woe to those who draw sin along with cords of deceit and wickedness as with cart ropes. To those who say, let Yahweh hurry, let him hasten his work so we may see it. Let it approach, let the plan of the Kodesh one of Israel come so we may know it. Now, you know Yahweh says, don't rush. Don't rush that day, the day of Yahweh. Why? Because the day of Yahweh is nothing but darkness, doom and gloom. What is it And what is in it for you? See, a lot of people, they want to rush things. They want, oh man, I wish this was hurry up. But I'm going to get to it at the end of the message. But Yahweh giving us time right now to get ourselves together, to prepare our souls, to get ourselves right before Almighty Yahweh, giving us this little time right now before everything start kicking off. See, everybody want to rush stuff, but then when this thing start kicking off, now all of a sudden you're gonna see people, oh no, I ain't mean that. I'll slow it down. No, see, right now it's slowed down. So get ourselves right now. So when those days come, you will be ready, you be prepared. Because he did say it's gonna be a day he's gonna come and gather his elect, right? So if we not ready, you think Yahweh gonna put that word out and say, go collect my people and get you, and you not preparing yourself, you not ready, you still shucking and jiving, still just doing what you want to do, you think he gonna collect you? No. And he said, no one know the day. So we had to live each and every day. That's why at the beginning, I just said, told Yahweh for another day. Because you don't know what day. So live every day like it is the last. Live every day like the Yahweh sure is going to come tonight. Live your life like that, Yisrael. Stop looking at the day like, oh, yeah, it's another day. It's another day for me to just lollygag and just do whatever. No, look at each day and take advantage of it. But, the wicked, they like, yeah, where Yahweh at? You said he's with y'all. Where he at now? But it says, woe to those who call evil good and good evil, who put darkness for light and light for darkness, who put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. Yeah, ain't that in the earth now? Everything that is tough is evil. Everything evil is tough. That's how the world just flipped everything upside down now. You can't even speak against different things in the earth, knowing it says in the Torah that it shouldn't be. And if you speak out against it, the whole world come at you. And you see how even they got the world, the actors, the athletes, or whoever in the world, they speak out against something, and then all of a sudden the world come at them. What do they do next? Apologize. You know what? I didn't mean to say that. If you said it, you meant it. You got to stay with what you say. Mean what you say. Don't back down, because the world see that as like, see that we got them. See that they weak. Whenever we go at them, all they're gonna do is just bow down and just serve us. That's what the world they recognize all these things, Yisrael. They take notice of who is in line and who is off to the side or doing their own thing, which ain't their own thing. They doing Yahweh, what Yahweh says. But they take note and say, you know what? These are rebellious ones right here. They ain't going along with what we said. They take note. They watch. Woe to those who are wise in their own eyes and clever in their own sight. See a lot of that in this day and time. People think, they think they got it. They think they know it all. Look, do we have wisdom without Yahweh? But they call it wisdom. They might speak with their big words and make it seem like they have all this knowledge. But knowledge, you don't have no knowledge without Yahweh, no wisdom without Yahweh. The wisdom of the world is foolishness before Almighty Yahweh. So, Israel, when we look at these things and we see all these things happening in the earth, best believe Yahweh is in control. Just because, okay, the world is flipped upside down, they doing their own thing, everything is opposite of what Yahweh says. Guess what? Yahweh's still in control. He sees it all. So I know people they see this, they see these things happening in the earth, and people lose hope because they think Yahweh is not in control. They think Yahweh don't see all these things. But best believe he does, Yisrael. So that's why we always say here, don't lose hope. Continually rely on Almighty Yahweh because he is with you. Just because the world is acting up right now and chaotic, guess what? He is with Yisrael, the faithful few. And that's all you want. That's all you want. Don't worry about the world. That's the thing that we get in trouble with. We focus on the world too much. Man, look at what they doing. Look at all this is happening. No, focus on Yahweh. Because guess what? Yahweh focused on you. So why not us be focused on him and to make sure that we doing the things that Yahweh says? Because when you focus more on the world, guess what? You're not focusing on what you're supposed to do in Yahweh. And that's the trick of Shaitan right there, because Shaitan, like, I got you. You focus now. And that's what he want. You're not focused on Yahweh's word. Let's go to the book of Daniel. This is Daniel chapter 2. Daniel 2, I'm going to start at verse 10, but it's King Nebuchadnezzar. He had a dream, and he wanted the interpretation of the dream because the dream was troubling him. Now, you know, when people had dreams, a lot of times the dream is to the dreamer, right? And he's troubled by it. Yahweh's troubling his mind. So he asked for all the astrologers, the magicians, all his people, all his wise, so-called wise men to come before him. And he asked them, okay, you know what? I'm being troubled by this dream. I'm gonna need for you to tell me my dream and give me the interpretation. And they was like, yeah, okay. Just give us the interpretation. I mean, the dream, what the dream was, and then we'll tell you what it means. No, I don't want that. I want, if you real, tell me what the dream is, then interpret it. See, that's how people, they get you. Like, yeah, can you tell me the dream first? So they can just make up a lie or whatever and tell you, okay, yeah, it means such and such. And in these last days, it's going to be a lot of people that's going to be false, that's going to want to teach false things in this earth. And we have to know, we have to have discernment, Yisrael. Ask for discernment so we know who is true and who is false. Because you don't want to be caught listening to any and everything. That's how we get in trouble. We on the internet, we listen to this person, we listen to that person, we listen to this person, and we all confused. Find somebody that's in Yahweh that is sincere and telling the truth. And yeah, if you are real and sincere, Yahweh will guide you to whoever is real. But if we playing around and we not serious, guess what? We're going to be all over the place. But he said, no, give me the dream and the interpretation. Now, it's going to show you now who is truly with Almighty Yahweh. Because those that are with Yahweh, they're going to know. Yahweh going to give them a vision. We have to have a vision and know revelation. Yahweh gives his messengers a revelation and to be able to tell Yisrael what is truth. So, verse 10, let's start. The astrologers answered the king, there is not a man on earth who can do what the king asks. No king, however great and mighty, has ever asked such a thing of any magician or enchanter or astrologer. What the king asked is too difficult. Like, man, how are we gonna know your dream? You had the dream. No one can reveal it to the king except the gods, and they do not live among men. This made the king so angry and furious that he ordered the execution of all the wise men of Babylon. So the decree was issued to put the wise men to death, and men were sent to look for Daniel and his friends to put them to death. See, they search for everybody now. And they ain't had nothing to do with it, but nah, everybody had to be put to death because he was so furious and angry because they told him, ain't nobody can do that. But see how Yahweh works. When Arioch, the commander of the king's guard, had gone out to put to death the wise men of Babylon, Daniel spoke to him with wisdom and tact. He asked the king's officer, why did the king issue such a harsh decree? Arioch then explained the matter to Daniel. At this, Daniel went to the king and asked for time so that he might interpret the dream for him. He's like, nah, hold up. Give us time. See, he knew who he was serving. He knew he served a mighty Elohim and that he could get an answer from Almighty Yahweh. That's how the messengers of Almighty Yahweh, that's how we have to be. We have to go to Almighty Yahweh. This ain't something that, it's all for us. We doing this all alone. No, had to get a revelation for Almighty Yahweh. Then Daniel returned to his house and explained the matter to his friends, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. He urged them to plead for Hasib from the Elohim of heaven concerning this mystery, so that he and his friends might not be executed with the rest of the wise men of Babylon. And during the night, the mystery was revealed to Daniel in the vision. Then Daniel praised the Elohim of the heavens and said, see that soon as he got it, he ain't being proud and say, yeah, I got this now. Guess who he went through? He went to Almighty Yahweh and told him and praised him because without Yahweh, he wouldn't have received the answer. Praise be to the name of Yahweh forever and ever. Wisdom and power are his. He changes times and seasons. He sets up kings and brings them down. He gives wisdom to the wise and knowledge to the discerning. He reveals deep and hidden things. He knows what lies in darkness, and light dwells with him. I told it and praise you, O Elohim of my fathers. You have given me wisdom and power. You have made known to me what we asked of you. You have made known to us the dream of the king. See that? Those that are real with Almighty Yahweh, they're going to get an answer from Almighty Yahweh because they put Yahweh first. Those that are fake, they don't care nothing about Yahweh. They just about themselves, making themselves try to look great before men. But that would got the astrologers and the magicians all in trouble because see that they going off themselves, they think they got great power. But guess what? He said, I'm gonna put all of y'all to death because you don't know the interpretation and the dream. But Daniel stood up and said, nah, this ain't happening. I'm gonna go to my Elohim. I'm gonna go to Yahweh, and he will reveal these things. See that? Yahweh in control. That's how You know, when someone has a revelation and he say, thus says Yahweh, and the thing happens, you know that they're of Yahweh. But those that are false and they lie, they are just, you hear all types of crazy things in these last days now. Off of the different names that they give Yahweh, different names they give Yahshua, all these things, the feast days, everything. You hear a whole lot of crazy things now. Got to know that ain't of Yahweh. If you are real before Almighty Yahweh, Yahweh is in control, guess what? He will guide you. He will set you right, Israel. He ain't going to set you wrong. He ain't going to put you on out there to fail. You will always have victory before Almighty Yahweh because you put him first. Let's go to Eob. Eob went through an ordeal, not only with the things he had to suffer as far as bodily suffering, losing family, but what the friends around him, or so-called, they should have been there to console him, to be there to help him out. But did they do all that? No, they talking bad about him. They thinking, oh man, you messed up, you did something wrong. And Eob was pleading his case, trying to let them know, you know what? I know I was doing right before Almighty Yahweh. I know this ain't something as far as sinning or whatever. And he pleaded his case. He's like, all I want to do is speak to Almighty Yahweh to just see why am I going through these things? Because he knew I was living right. I was doing all these things for the poor. I was giving all these things. But the friends are like, hey, all they doing is talking. But I want you to see what Eob said to them. This is Eob chapter 12. I'm going to start at verse 13. To Yahweh belongs wisdom and power. Heard that before, right? Counsel and understanding are his. What he tears down cannot be rebuilt. So when Yahweh does a thing, guess what? Ain't nobody gonna go behind him and redo a thing. When Yahweh does a thing, guess what? It is done. When he says things are going to happen, guess what? It's going to happen. The man he imprisons cannot be released. If he holds back the waters, there is drought. If he lets them loose, they devastate the land. To him belongs strength and victory. Both deceived and deceiver are his. He leads counselors away stripped and makes fools of judges. He takes off the shackles put on by kings and ties a loincloth around their waist. He leads priests away stripped and overthrows men long established. See, don't he put up kings and bring them down? You see it in this land. It's the men so sinful, they 4 years. And then, oh man, we got to get somebody else. He ain't doing what he say he gonna do. They keep switching people in and out. You think they just doing that because they doing it, or because Yahweh is allowing these things just to show you how sinful man is? That he is the great I am. He is the true king. He silences the lips of trusted advisors and takes away the discernment of elders. He pours contempt on nobles and disarms the mighty. He reveals the deep things of darkness and brings deep shadows into the light. He makes nations great and destroys them. He enlarges nations and disperses them. We got great nations in this earth, don't we? Thank you. But Yahweh gonna show them. Yahweh gonna show you wasn't great at all. He says, and destroy them. See that? Don't these nations, ain't they destroying the earth? Oh, okay. So that's why Yahweh says, oh, he makes nations great and he destroys them. He enlarges nations and disperses them. He gonna show the whole world who is in control. He deprives the leaders of the earth of their reason. He sends them wandering through a trackless waste. They grope in darkness with no light. He makes them stagger like drunkards. See, there is going to be a time when Yahweh's wrath going to come to this earth, and they big and bad now. They great nation now, right? Thinking they got all the power, but watch when Yahweh comes to this earth. Yahweh sure. And watch how much fear and just turmoil and pain comes to these people in this earth. Chapter 13, my eyes have seen all this. My ears have heard and understood it. What you know, I also know. I am not inferior to you, but I desire to speak to the Almighty and to argue my case with Yahweh. You, however, smear me with lies. You are worthless physicians, all of you. If only you would be altogether silent. You see that? Just be quiet. That's the best thing people can do. Cause stay humble before Almighty Yahweh. Because people have a lot of mouth. People like talking, and Yahweh, you think Yahweh like all that talking, all that mouth? The best thing we can do before Almighty Yahweh is be silent. If we don't have anything tough to say, anything of Yahweh to say before Yahweh, zip it. Because all those things you spewing out of your mouth, it goes to Yahweh is, and he hears these things and makes him angry. For you, that would be wisdom. You hear how he said that? Look, all together, just be silent. For you, that would be wisdom. See, just be quiet. That would be wisdom. All that talking, that ain't wisdom at all. You just talking and just saying a whole bunch of stuff. But he says that would be wisdom for you to be quiet. Hear now my argument. Listen to the plea of my lips. Will you speak wickedly on Yahweh's behalf? Will you speak deceitfully for him? Will you show him partiality? Will you argue the case for Yahweh? Verse 9 says, would it turn out well if he examined you? See that? He's like, okay, now I'm getting it right now. All the things coming to me right now. But if the tide is changed and it goes to you, see, that's a lot of times they want to point at different people, looking at different people and just waiting for them to mess up. Best believe the world. When you say you serving Yahweh, you doing his will, you keeping the Shabbat, the feast days, a lot of times people ain't like, oh man, that's cool, man. That's tough. A lot of times people like, oh, okay, they just waiting for you to mess up. They waiting for you so they can say, yeah, I knew you wasn't doing what you said you was gonna do. That's people, they look for the bad in things a lot of times. But he says, would it turn out well if he examined you? See that? If we don't look at ourselves first, we could be sinning before Almighty Yahweh and not know it. And then when we get our EO day, then we looking like, man, what is going on? Why am I suffering like this? Because you weren't doing the things like Yahweh commanded. See, he was doing the things Yahweh commanded, but he was teaching a lesson, showing Shaitan, you know what, you think you're going to get him, but he ain't going to budge. And that goes for us too, Yisrael. When we going through trials and tribulations, You don't think Yahweh like, oh nah, you know what? She's not gonna budge. Nah, he not gonna budge. Go ahead, try him. So that's why we can't panic, we can't complain and do all these things when we in our trials and tribulations, because guess what? Yahweh could be testing us. It ain't all the time when somebody going through some tremendous trials and tribulations that they done wrong before Almighty Yahweh. No, it could be a test. And to you, it's you want to show Yahweh, you know what, whatever I'm going through, I'ma still rely on you, just like Job did. I ain't gonna give up. I ain't gonna just say curse Yahweh and die. No, I'm gonna continually walk with Yahweh. I'm gonna continue to do his will just to show him I'm gonna be strong. I'm gonna stand with him. He wants to see who real in this way of life, Israel. And best believe in these last days, we're gonna see who truly with Yahweh. When stuff start to go down in this earth, we're gonna see who truly was with Yahweh. That's why we can't play right now. We can't do our own thing right now, Yisrael. We have to get ready. Let's go to Jeremiah or Jeremiah. Jeremiah chapter 10. Jeremiah 10:23 says, I know, O Yahweh, that a man's life is not his own. See that? You ain't control of this, Israel. Can you control the breath that's coming within you? You breathing right now, but Yahweh can say, okay, breath come out. Are you in control of the limbs, everything? Yahweh allows these things for you, Yisrael. I know, oh Yahweh, that a man's life is not his own. It is not for man to direct his steps. Correct me, oh Yahweh, but only with justice, not in your anger. See that? And we should total Yahweh for correction, because correction shows us when we are wrong, we can get back on that straight, narrow path. But if Yahweh says, you know what, I'm tired of correcting them, I'm going to take my hand off of them, then you're in trouble. Now you just doing your own thing, you doing what you want to do, and then judgment day is too late. That's why he said, you know what? Correct me only in justice, not in your anger, because we don't want to make Yahweh angry. Lest you reduce me to nothing. Pour out your wrath on the nations that do not acknowledge you. See that? If you're going to pour out wrath, please not on me, Yahweh. Do it to them. You see what they doing in this earth? You see what they doing to your people? Give them your wrath. Show them that you are not playing. See that? Show your wrath on the nations that do not acknowledge you, on the people who do not call on your name. For they have devoured your code. They have devoured him completely and destroyed his homeland. See that? And best believe we cry out to Yahweh. We ask Yahweh to do all these things to the nations. But guess what? Best believe Yahweh see it. Yahweh knows, okay, now I got a specific time that I'm gonna come and I'm gonna deal with them. So best believe, we continually cry out. We ask Yahweh to deal with the nations, take them down. Yahweh said, you know what? Patiently wait. Get yourselves together. So when the time comes, I will collect my people. Then the wrath on this earth, is anybody going to be able to escape it? No. Yahweh is in control. Let's go to this book of Psalms. Psalm 75. Psalm 75 says, we give Todah to you, O Yahweh. We give Todah, for your name is nigh. Men tell of your wonderful deeds. You say, I choose the appointed time. It is I who judge uprightly. When the earth and all its people quake, it is I who hold its pillars firm. To the arrogant I say, boast no more. And to the wicked, do not lift up your horns. Do not lift up your horns against the Hashemayim. Do not speak with outstretched neck. See, people, they got outstretched neck. They think they got it all. They think they know everything. But Yahweh said, nah, don't even do that. I'm in control of this. Don't boast. Don't be proud. Because people in this earth, they are so proud. They boast because they think they are all that. And you don't think Yahweh is angry with that? You just looking at yourselves thinking you all that? What have we done that we can lift up ourselves? We can't lift up ourselves and say we are great. Look at us. Look, yeah, we Israel. That's what people are doing. When they wake up, they say, yeah, look at us, man. We Israel. And they think people should respect them now. People should look at them and say, yeah, that's the people right there. We should respect them. You think they care? All we need to do, Yisrael, is be humble before Almighty Yahweh. Yeah, know who you are. But you don't have to broadcast it. You don't have to show everybody who you are. Yahweh know who you are. No one from the east or the west or from the desert can exalt a man, but it is Yahweh who judges. He brings one down, he exalts another, right? That brought to mind, remember Shaul? Wasn't he made king? Then did he obey Yahweh? Did every voice of Yahweh, did he do everything that Yahweh told him to do? And ain't that why Yahweh got angry with him and took it from him? And didn't he exalt somebody else? That we. But at that time when he took it away from him, because he was supposed to do what Yahweh said, and he ain't do it, guess what? Didn't it say an evil spirit came upon him? Who did it come from? Let's go to 1 Samuel. See, when Yahweh take his hand off of you, you want to do your own thing. Yahweh say, okay, I'm going to let you go do your own thing. I'm going to let whatever is within you take over. 1 Samuel chapter 16, verse 14 says, now the Ruach of Yahweh had departed from Shaul, and the evil spirit from Yahweh tormented him. See that? Yahweh allowed that to come upon him because that was what was in him. See, if we living right, we sincere before him, he had that Ruach dwell within us. But if we clowning around, we doing our own thing, and Yahweh see that you are not serious, guess what? He take his hand off of you and allow that spirit that was in you to take over. See, and that's what happened. And his attendant, Shaul's attendant, said to him, see, an evil spirit from Yahweh is tormenting you. Let our master command his servants here to search for someone who can play the harp. He will play when the evil spirit from Yahweh comes upon you, and you will feel better. Look at that. And then who you think they got to play for Shaul? That weed. And now it's funny that it says that, because don't music a lot of times lift up your spirits, Yisrael? I ain't talking about all that rock and roll and all that cursing, your mama this and that. No, I'm talking about some spiritual music, music of Yahweh. Those things that are tough. Don't those things lift you up, Israel? It makes you in a better mood, makes you feel better. It's the same thing. The instruments that play, it gets you in a good mood. And that's why he was like, you know what? We need to get some instruments in here to calm that spirit within you down. But see what happened. That was allowed to come upon him because of what he had done. So Yisrael, we can't mess up. We can't do things the way we want to do them before Almighty Yahweh, because then he will allow those things to come upon us. Because you opened yourself up. You didn't want Yahweh. You didn't want the Ruach of Yahweh. So now you open yourself up for Shaitan. Let's go back to Psalm 75. Verse 7 says, but it is Yahweh who judges. He brings one down. He exalts another. And the hand of Yahweh is a cup full of foaming wine mixed with spices. He pours it out, and all the wicked of the earth drank it down to its dregs. As for me, I will declare this forever. I will sing praise to the Elohim of Yaakov. I will cut off the horns of all the wicked, but the horns of the righteous will be lifted up. See that? Drink that cup, the cup of Yahweh's wrath. Let's get into this, Yisrael. Let's go to Zechariah. Zechariah chapter 12. Because these nations, they got something coming. And they think Israel gonna be down and out all the time. They're gonna be detailed all the time. They ain't gonna be able to defend themselves all the time. Guess what? You are a powerful nation when you are united in Yahweh. And you best believe it's gonna be a day coming when he gonna show the whole world. Zechariah chapter 12. This is the word of Yahweh concerning Yisrael. Yahweh, who stretches out the heavens, who lays the foundation of the earth, and who forms the spirit of man within him, declares, I am going to make Jerusalem a cup that sends all the surrounding people reeling. Yehuda will be besieged as well as Jerusalem. On that day, when all the nations of the earth are gathered against her, I will make Jerusalem an immovable rock for all the nations. All who try to move it will injure themselves. On that day, I will strike every horse with panic and its riders with madness, declares Yahweh. And I will keep a watchful eye over the house of Yehuda, but I will blind all the horses of the nations. Then the leaders of Yehuda will say in their hearts, the people of Jerusalem are strong, because Yahweh Almighty is their Elohim. See that? They got something coming to them. Don't even say, I believe it's later on, the last chapter in Zechariah, talk about Yehuda will fight. Don't it say that in Jerusalem? Mm-hmm. On that day, I will make the leaders of Yehuda like a fire pot and a wood pile, like a flaming torch among sheaves. They will consume right and left all the surrounding people, but Jerusalem will remain intact in her place. Yahweh will save the dwellings of Yehuda first, so that the honor of the house of David and Jerusalem's inhabitants may not be greater than that of Yehuda. On that day, Yahweh will shield those who live in Jerusalem, so that the feeblest among them will be like David. Was David a weak little man? That's serious. Feeblest among them will be like Dawid, and the house of Dawid will be like Elohim, like the angel of Yahweh, going before them. See that? Powerful nation before Almighty Yahweh. When you serve Yahweh, one like mine, that's what they don't want, Israel. They don't want you to unite as one because they know how powerful you can be with Yahweh. On that day, I will set out to destroy one nation that attacked Jerusalem. Oh, okay. Same, you all said the same thing. I will set out to destroy all the nations that attack or Jerusalem. See that? He ain't playing. We getting it right now. We have to deal with our transgressions, all the things that we have done before Almighty Yahweh, and best believe the nations think that's gonna go on forever and ever. But no, that's gonna stop. And after that stops, Yahweh is gonna go after the nations. It's only right. If we had to pay for what we had done, you think they're gonna get off free? And that's what I like. Yeah, we during our time, we had to serve Yahweh and deal with trials and tribulations, but I just like those things ain't gonna last forever. The nations, they gonna get theirs. Let's go to Yeshayah or Isaiah. Best believe they ain't gonna stop it. Oh nah, we ain't gonna get ours. Nah, let's Israel continually suffer. You think they can do that? The just make this go on forever and ever? No, Yahweh has his time where he says, okay, enough is enough. If Yahweh don't come back, what will be left? I mean, they already keep going out in the heavens now. They want to go on the moon. They want to do the Mars. They want to go all over the place. What are you doing up there? You already destroyed everything on the earth. Now you want to go up there and tamper with stuff in the heavens too. So that's why Yahweh said, you know what? There's going to be a time where enough is enough. If you know you made him angry when he had to come out of his dwelling and meet you face to face. But that's what has to be done. I mean, you can see the earth is getting more and more wicked. Nobody can say, "Oh, yeah, it's gonna get better." It's gonna get better after Yahweh deals with this earth. But best believe it's gonna get worse. It's going to be turmoil. It's going to be chaos in this earth. But best believe when Yahweh Shua steps forth on this earth, he going to cleanse this earth. He going to free it from all wickedness. So his kingdom to come can be on this earth and to show everybody what a true government is. How to truly justice, fairness in this earth, how it's supposed to be from the very beginning. Because these people don't know nothing about that. Yeshayah 51, verse 17. Awake, awake, rise up, O Jerusalem. You who have drunk from the hand of Yahweh the cup of his wrath. You have drained his dregs, the goblet that makes men stagger. Of all the sons she bore, there was none to guide her. Of all the sons she reared, there was none to take her by the hand. These double calamities have come upon you. Who can comfort you? Ruin and destruction, famine and sword. Who can console you? Your sons have fainted. They lie at the heads of every street. Ain't that happening? Like wild bull caught in the net. They are filled with the wrath of Yahweh and the rebuke of your Elohim. Therefore, hear this, you afflicted one, made drunk, but not with wine. This is what Yahweh says. Your Elohim who defends you, your Elohim who defends his people. See, I have taken out of your hand the cup that made you stagger. From that cup, the goblet of my wrath. You will never drink again. I will put it into the hands of your tormentors, who said to you, fall prostrate, that we may walk over you. And you made your back like the ground, like a street to be walked over. Look, you see what he see? Now you see why Yahweh had to come back and deal with these people? Made you lie down on the street so they could walk over. That's just a little bit of what they've done. You know all the other things they've done in this earth. The gator bait, the pregnant women, tag, cut their stomach open. Go to the Black and Wax Museum. You'll see that. Put the kittens in the woman's stomach and sewed it shut. These people, I don't even have a word for it. But Yahweh got something for it. And that's what I'm waiting for, because they ain't done so much in this earth. Only Yahweh can pay them back. It ain't nothing they can repay Yisrael for all that stuff. They can't give you money or anything to take your mind away from what they have done in this earth. No, we want Yahweh to come to this earth and repay them face to face. That's what we want. That's my reward. That's what I'm gonna be happy with when I see all the nations get their due reward. Then I'm happy. I'm like, you know what? Yahweh said they're not getting away, and they surely did. Let's go to Jeremiah 25. Jeremiah 25, verse 30. Now prophesy all these words against them and say to them, Yahweh will roar from on high. He will thunder from his Kodesh dwelling and roar mightily against his land. He will shout like those who tread the grapes, shout against all who live on the earth. The tumult will resound to the ends of the earth. For Yahweh will bring charges against the nations. He will bring judgment on all man and put the wicked to the sword, declares Yahweh. So does that sound like anybody getting away? He said on all man. This is what Yahweh Almighty says. Look, disaster is spreading from nation to nation. A mighty storm is rising from the ends of the earth. Then Mr. Dawid preach a message, a storm is coming. See, people just paying it no mind. They just think everything just going along day by day and nothing gonna happen. Nah, it's coming. It's like that storm that brews. It's just getting itself together. You know what? It's not a full storm yet, but you can feel it. You can see how the clouds and stuff, they starting to form. The atmosphere is starting to change. You see it coming to fruition. At that time, those slain by Yahweh will be some places, 1 or 2 places. No, it'll be everywhere, from one end of the earth to the other. They will not be mourned or gathered up or buried, but will be like dung lying on the ground. That sounds like a serious time, right? That this is a big place we on, right? This earth that we on, he said it will be from one end of the earth to the other. Just people just on the ground. Nobody can be mourned, gathered up. It's just going to be just people everywhere. You think Yahweh playing? You think that's going to be a joyful time? Yeah, that's the time people say, yeah, it's going to get better. No, It's going to get worse. And if we don't get right before Almighty Yahweh, we in trouble. Plain and simple. Like it says right there, the slain of Yahweh will be everywhere. This ain't time to be joking. This ain't the time to just say, okay, it's just any old way of life. We just do it the way we want to do it. No, we must do this the way Yahweh says. Because if we not following Yahweh, we going to be in the midst of disaster. And we're going to be wishing we done it the way Yahweh says. But then it's too late. Let's go to Isaiah again. Yeshayah 43. Isaiah 43, verse 9. All the nations gathered together, and the people assembled. Which of them foretold this and proclaimed to us the former things? See, that's what Zarkane say. A lot of people, they serve all these different gods. But what have they said regarding to how we going to be saved? How we going to get up out of this mess? Nothing. Only Yahweh has shown you and pronounced what is going to happen. Let them bring in their witnesses to prove they were right, so that others may hear and say, it is true. Yeah, bring them in. Bring everybody, whoever, Buddha, Allah, all of them. Bring them all in one room. All right, let's see what you got. Let's see if you're going to say something better than what Yahweh has already said. It ain't going to happen. And Yahweh, only Yahweh can be bold and do that and say, okay, bring them out. Bring everybody out. I dare you. Come before Yahweh and see what's going to happen. Nothing. Because they don't have no mouth to speak. They can't hear. They can't do nothing for you. Yahweh is the only one that can do all things for you. But I like how Yahweh said he talks to Yisrael. He talks to everyone that wants to serve him. You are my witnesses, declare Yahweh, and my servant whom I have chosen, so that you may know and believe me and understand that I am he. Before me, no Elohim was formed, nor will there be one after me. I am Yahweh, and apart from me, there is no Savior. I have revealed and saved and proclaimed. I am not some strange God among you. You are my witnesses, declare Yahweh, that I am Yahweh. You believe that, Yisrael? Yes, and from the ancient days, I am he. No one can deliver out of my hand. When I act, who can reverse it? See that? Yahweh is in control. When he does a thing, who gonna reverse it and switch it around and make it something else? Nobody. So when things start to go down in this earth, best believe it's gonna go on until the very end, the way Yahweh commands it. Ain't nobody gonna be able to stop the wrath of Yahweh. Ain't nobody gonna be able to hold it back. Ain't nobody gonna be able to cry, Yahweh, please get me up out of this. No, you should have got it right before it started. Let's go to Jeremiah. Chapter 17. Jeremiah 17, starting at verse 12. A glorious throne, exalted from the beginning, is the place of our sanctuary. O Yahweh, the hope of Yisrael, all who forsake you will be put to shame. Those who turn away from you will be written in the dust, because they have forsaken Yahweh, the spring of living waters. He ain't talking about, all right, we're going to put your name in the dirt. Say, all right, yeah, nah, he talking about your life back to the dust. Heal me, O Yahweh, and I will be healed. Save me, and I will be saved. For you are the one I praise. That's when you know who you serve. You know when you are sincere before him, you cry out to him to save you, he save you. When you cry out to him for healing, he'll heal you. Because you know Yahweh is a great Elohim. You know he is a loving Elohim. They keep saying to me, where is the word of Yahweh? Let it now be fulfilled. I have not run away from being your shepherd. You know I have not desired the day of despair. What passes my lips is open before you. See that? Be real before Almighty Yahweh, Israel. Whatever you say before him, make sure it's right, it's correct. Be real before him. Because we can't lie. We can't think, okay, Yahweh ain't hear that. He didn't see that. He sees all things. He knows. He can see in the hearts of everybody's mind. So he even knows what you thinking. What you think about your brother and the hate that's within you. Even though you don't even spew it out, he knows within you. Do not be a terror to me. You are my refuge in the day of disaster. Let my persecutors be put to shame, but keep me from shame. Let them be terrified, but keep me from terror. Bring on them the day of disaster. Destroy them with double destruction. Yeah, not just destruction. No, give them double. And be with me, Almighty Yahweh. Please don't show your anger towards me. But you see how, again, he says, no, put your anger onto them. Bring your wrath onto them. Show them that you wasn't playing. Show them that we were your people from the very beginning. That's the thing right there. I want to see everybody's faces when they see Yahshua coming and he is a black man. And they see that he is with Yisrael. You all, us all, see the shots on their face. We did that to them. Oh no, we in trouble. That's what you get. That's what I'm waiting for too. All the days in this earth that they look down on Israel, had you as a tail, they take everything from you. Now they get their due reward. You can't tell me Yahweh ain't great. You can't tell me Yahweh is not awesome. Because Yahweh, nobody can come before me and tell me Yahweh is not tough. Yahweh, you can't tell me that because I know him. I know who he is. I know what he's done in my life. I know you all know what he's done in your life. So nobody can come up to you and tell you Yahweh ain't tough. Yahweh is all things to us all, Yisrael. Let's go to Ezekiel. Ezekiel chapter 12. If you, Israel, if you just look at the small things, a lot of people, they always want to look at the big thing, the big pictures, and like, oh man, I ain't get this, oh, I ain't get that. But no, look at the small things Yahweh does for you. And if you continue to look at those things and you happy, guess what? Can't nobody come to you and tell you anything. Like, you know what? Yahweh is so tough. Yahweh did this for me, did that. It might not seem big in their eyes, but to you, it is all things. And I just told the Yahweh for all the things that he has done for us all. Ezekiel 12, I'm going to start at Verse 21. The word of Yahweh came to me, son of man, what is this proverb you have in the land of Yisrael? The days go by and every vision comes to nothing. Say to them, this is what Yahweh says. And I'm going to put an end to this proverb, and they will no longer quote it in Israel. Say to them, the days are nigh when every vision will be fulfilled. For there will be no more false visions or flattering sayings among the people of Israel. But I, Yahweh, will speak what I will, and it will be fulfilled without delay. See, a lot of people, they hear things sometimes in the Yahweh's word, and they don't believe it because they haven't seen it happen. But guess what? It's going to be a day when you see all these things Yahweh said in these last days. When you begin to see it, now all of a sudden, oh, wow, Yahweh did say that. But I'm going to get to explaining, because a lot of times, Yisrael want to hear the good stuff. Give me all the pleasant stuff. I don't want to hear all the doom and gloom, all the things coming. You have some people, they don't want to hear certain things in the book. Because when you start going into certain things in the book, guess what? Oh, now you had to get yourself right. You see things happening. You see, he says, don't do this, don't do that. Then all of a sudden it come upon you like wow, I got to straighten up. I got to do this before Almighty Yahweh. But they think, oh, if I don't hear it, I close my ears, I didn't know. I don't have to straighten up before Almighty Yahweh. They rather hear the false people, those that are saying false things. They like what the itching is. Tell me what I want to hear. That's what they rather hear instead of hearing what thus says Yahweh, to get yourselves prepared. And that ain't going to do you any good at the very end, because at the end, judgment going to come, and then it's too late for you to repent. But I, Yahweh, will speak what I will, and it will be fulfilled without delay. For in your days, you rebellious house, I will fulfill whatever I say, declares Yahweh. The word of Yahweh came to me, son of man, the house of Israel is saying, the vision he sees is for many years from now. And he prophesies about the distant future. And you know how people are in this day and time. Don't people want to put it off on the next generation? Oh man, they ain't coming now. I'll be all right. It ain't gonna happen until way down the line. I'll be gone. It'll be over with. Always want to put it off. No, we had to be like, okay, these things are upon us now, and we had to straighten up and prepare ourselves. Don't you want to know about what is to come, Yisrael? Before the time comes, so you'll be prepared for it. But a lot of people, they don't want it. And then at the very end, that's when you see panic set upon everybody. And I always bring this up, just like when the pandemic came, everybody started panicking. But Yahweh's people, they knew to just stay focused, hear the word of Yahweh, just rely on him, and then he take care of us. But they said, nah, this thing's in the distant future. Therefore, say to them, this is what Yahweh says, none of my words will be delayed any longer. Whatever I say will be fulfilled, declares Yahweh. See that? You know what? People playing, they think, oh, it ain't going to happen. All right, now judgment coming. Now this thing is going to pop off now. Just to show everybody he wasn't playing. Now, I'm going to read you the notes that I have down here. It says, this proverb revealed the lack of faith in Yahweh among people of Yisrael. The problem was not that the visions were failing, but that the Yahudim were given prophecies about destruction they did not want to hear. See, oh man, I don't want to hear that. Just give me the smooth things. The only visions that they accepted were those that promised peace and were proclaimed by the false prophets. See that? You rather hear the false prophets because they ain't bringing up all that stuff that you need to hear. They just pleasing you. You tickling your ears, itching ears, want to hear the pleasing things, the smooth things. And those things ain't going to help you at the very end. Let's go to 2 Peter, and I'll soon be done. But you know, people on this earth, they think these things, oh, they see it in here, they just look over it, they laugh, they think, oh, this ain't nothing. 2 Peter chapter 3. 2 Peter 3, verse 3 says, first of all, you must understand that in the last days, scoffers will come. What is a scoffer? Don't they laugh, they just don't take it serious, right? They know Yahweh said these things are coming, but they like, yeah, right. Scoffing and following their own evil desires. They will say, where is this coming he has promised? Ever since our fathers died, everything goes on as it is, as it has since the beginning of creation. But they deliberately forget that long ago, by Yahweh's word, the heavens existed, and the earth was formed out of the water and by water. By the waters also the world of that time was deluged and destroyed. By the same word, the present heavens and earth are reserved for fire, being kept for the day of judgment and destruction of unrighteous men. See that? Okay, Yahweh trying to show you, okay, those things that happened in the past, you know that was real. Okay, wasn't there a flood? All right, now he's saying, okay, now the present world is reserved for fire. Now he's trying to show people, okay, now, has this thing happened yet? But it will happen because Yahweh is in control. He says it's going to happen. But do not forget this one thing, dear friends. With Yahweh, a day is like 1,000 years, and 1,000 years are like a day. Yahweh is not slow in keeping his promise. Just because the thing haven't happened yet, don't mean that he's slow. It ain't gonna happen. No, it's on his time. He ain't gonna let you, all right, I'm gonna do this thing January 2nd, 2030. That's when it's gonna happen. No, Yahweh ain't gonna tell you. He gonna let it sneak up on you because you should have just been ready. You should have readied yourself before it came. But look, he says Yahweh is not slow in keeping his promise, as some understand slowness. He is patient with you, not wanting anyone to perish, but everyone to come to repentance. See that? Like I said earlier, where we have this time right now, this time to get ourselves right before him. This time is a little shalom that we have right now, little space and time before the judgment come to this earth to get ourselves right. He said to come to repentance before him, so we be ready when the time does come, so he will gather us. See, a lot of people, they just take this as like, yeah, this is cutting up time. Ain't nothing happening. I can do whatever I want, man. It's just, I'm going to have fun. No, this is the time that you must get serious. I'm not saying that you can't enjoy life. No, you enjoy life in Yahweh. But this is the time to get serious because this is your soul on the line. Zarkane said two things you can lose and not get back, right? First was time, and then your soul. I think that's important. If we want to be real before Yahweh and we want to make it in the kingdom to come, we must get this thing right now. These things coming down the line, it ain't no joke. You think it's bad now, you ain't saying nothing. But they laugh. They look at these things and say, you know what, Yahweh ain't dead. These things ain't coming to fruition. Let's go to my closing scripture. Let's go to Psalms chapter 2. Psalms 2 says, why do the nations conspire and the people plot in vain? The kings of the earth take their stand, and the rulers gather together against Yahweh and against his anointed one. Let us break their chains, they say, and throw off their fetters. The one enthroned in the Hashemayim, he laughs. Yahweh scoffs at them. See that now? Then we read that there's going to be scoffers. There's going to be scoffers in the earth just laughing, just putting this, saying there's no mind to this. But now Yahweh said, okay, I see you're not paying this no mind. Now it says the one enthroned in the heavens laughs. Yahweh scoffs at them. Then he rebukes them in his anger and terrifies them in his wrath, saying, I have installed my king on Zion, my Kodesh hill. Ain't you glad of that? That's what I'm waiting for. Forget all these rulers on this earth right now. Forget them all. Because the King of Kings is coming. Yahshua, HaMashiach. He is coming to this earth and he is going to rule. And he is going to rule correctly and show everyone how it should have been done for the very beginning. You ready for that, Yisrael? Your soon coming king. He is on his way. I'm going to end it on that note. Yisrael, continue to prepare yourselves. Get yourselves ready for the King of Kings, Yahshua HaMashiach. Yisrael, that concludes this message. Just want to say Yahweh is always going to be in control. So as long as you continue to serve him and stand in his almighty name, guess what? You have victory. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. House of Israel, let us all stand. Abba Yahweh, we told you for that King Yahshua that is coming soon to gather us all. We told you for having a place reserved for us that we may be able to dwell in shalom forever and ever. We told you for your son, how he is going to come to this earth and rule and bring shalom to this earth once again. We told you for all the things that you have done in this lifetime for us. Even though it's not anything big, we told you for the little small things that you have done for us. We are content with what you have given us. Abba Yahweh, continue to look over those that are less fortunate than us, those that are on the streets, those that don't have homes, shelters, food. Abba Yahweh, continue to provide for them and be there for them, even in this winter season. Give them clothing, the food that they need, and shelter that they need. And Yahweh, we look to you at all times and know that you are the great I am, and just know that you are great in all of our eyes, because you do have the Ahava of no other. We continually serve you and continually stand before you. And Abba Yahweh, we just ask that you help us to endure to the very end so we may be able to see your face in peace. In Yahshua HaMashiach's name we pray. Hallelujah.